Hello YouTube, today we have a breakthrough. The breakthrough is when it comes to the Lenovo Legion laptops, Lenovo Legion motherboards, and how to fix them. This business is about power jack repairs, this connector right here where you connect your power connector into. And we done thousands plus videos on this channel of different laptop makes and models on how to replace the connectors on them. And every second Lenovo Legion that we receive here, we replace the connector and it still doesn't work. So we always had to send it back to the client, not charging the client anything. And eventually we figured it out that when the connector right here fails, if the black plastic piece inside the connector is missing and you can see pins in there, let me show you like that. You see those pins? And once those pins are touching, it shorts out something on the motherboard because people jam in the 180 watts or 200 watt power supply, one of those more powerful power supplies in. It shorts something on the motherboard because here the pins are shorted already because they touch each other. And in this particular case, the central piece is touching the positive piece. And even if I replace this connector, it's still not gonna work. The easy way to see that it's still not gonna work is by getting a voltmeter. That's the cheapest voltmeter there is. Set it on ohms right here to check the continuity. And there is a point right here on the motherboard. There is a silver. Let me bring you the different angle. That angle isn't any better. All right. So you see this white dot right here? Right next to it is a capacitor and a test point right here. Here I just want to show you so you could see everything. So you put the black piece onto any negative component here, onto any ground, and we put the right probe onto this test point right here, and we get 0 ohm. So there is no resistance coming through here. It should be showing us a resistance. All right, so right now it shows me 0. And if you put it here, it's still 0 and that's 0. This is a capacitor. One side should be ground, another side should be some sort of resistance. So back in the days, I was almost always trying to find what the problem is around here. Removing this guy, removing that guy, removing this guy, removing that guy, removing this guy. Again, I've seen hundreds of those systems here before for the power connector repair, and we could never figure out what the problem is. Eventually, other technicians picked up on that and they commented on the videos below. And now it's pretty obvious, especially on this particular system. What they say is this particular chip right here, it goes out. And on this particular system, you can see right away it's damaged already. Right here. You can see right away there is a damage to the chip. It seems like there is a burn mark right there. It shouldn't be looking like that, all right? And that's the chip model number right there. I will show you in a close-up under the microscope. And basically, this is what needs to be replaced. This chip right here needs to be replaced, Lenovo chip, together with this guy in order for everything to work, all right? So I never done this particular repair before because we never had access to those chips, Lenovo proprietary chips. But recently, somebody started to sell them. However, those chips, when they come in, they needs to be programmed for a particular motherboard, right? So not all Lenovo laptops have exactly the same programming for that particular chip. And they come in different variations. So it's not that one chip fits all. It has to be identical chip that you put onto the board that, I mean, they're all gonna fit. It's just the models are different and the programming is different. Because this business is a flat rate fee, to replace those connectors, we can never call the client and tell them, listen, it's going to be more. Because the last thing I hate when somebody tells me that something's going to be more than I was expecting to pay in the first place. So I structure this business in the same way. I don't want a client to feel being ripped off. He already focused on a certain price, and if he can get the repair done for the same price, for that price is stated right here. Again, I hate phone calls because I always record videos. Again, 1,000+ videos here. And when somebody calls, it's just I have to stop everything, you know, take the gloves off, answer the phone, and talk to the client, then come back to work on the computer. So the thing is, when it comes to replacing this chip, you have to program it. And I don't want to deal with programming because there is not that many packages to program this particular chip out there. So every package doesn't fit every single motherboard. So right now we're still not at 100% there when it comes to taking this chip off and program the new chip to the motherboard, to this particular motherboard. But for this particular chip, for this particular motherboard, there is a seller that sells pre-programmed chips. So he, I guess, buys them, programs them, and he ships it from China to United States. Takes about a month to receive the chips. So this board has been here for a month, but I tried it. So I did receive the chips. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this chip. We're gonna put a new chip on this motherboard. We're gonna replace the connector. Well, before we're gonna replace the connector, what I wanna do is I wanna make sure that there is no more shortage right where I showed you. So let's see. Let me just straighten out this pin here because maybe it's currently shorting to the ground. So yeah. All right, let's see if it's shorting right here. Nope, it's not shorting. Okay, good. Straighten it out a bit. So yeah, the goal is to remove this chip, put a new chip on here, see if you're gonna remove the shortage from this area by replacing this particular chip. If you're gonna remove the shortage from this area by replacing this chip, we're gonna replace the connector and we're gonna test it. We're just gonna plug it in and see if the light gonna come up. If the light gonna come up, it's gonna be great. Now this particular board has some sort of burn marks right along here. Right, see right there? I'm not sure what that from. So something here is overheating as well right there. That's behind the connector. So, and you see right there, maybe there is not enough cooling pads on top of the heatsink here, right in this area. You see, right there, and a little bit here on this side. So this is probably running really hot. All right. So the first thing to do when replacing this chip, in my opinion, is to secure this connector because it's gonna melt from all the air that's gonna be involved in taking this guy off of there. So let's just put some insulation around and go to the microscope and try take this guy off. All right, so this is the insulation right there. Again, once I'm going to be blowing the hot air to remove this chip, I don't want the nearby components. Let's see, I'm out of capital tape. I don't want to blow off all of the components of the motherboard here. Okay, so which way are you gonna roll? Okay, it's the wrong way. All right, so I want to stabilize everything the best I can. Right, that's the side. That side looks good. Looks good. All right. So let's switch to the microscope, and I will show you the numbers from the chip, and they should pretty much match the numbers here. Let me just double check right now to make sure they match. All right, so the numbers are IT 8226E-192, and on the old chip it says those are the numbers that are matching. The old chip it says 1921-BXA S16Z9A and L003. So L003 is what matches as well, but the other two numbers don't match. The only thing that matches is BXA. Anyways, I will compare the two right now. I will show you that. I will show you the two next to each other. But let's get it done. Alrighty, so as you can see right here, those are the numbers. Lenovo IT8226E192 192-BXA S16Z9A L003. And you see this particular damage right there. That's not something that I did. It just seems like, you see, it kind of seems like it was burned through. So let me take this component of the motherboard. I wonder if I should add a leaded base solder right here, so that the melting temperature gonna be much less. That way no other components gonna blow up the motherboard. So that's what probably I'm gonna do. So I will add some leaded base solder to the legs of the contact points here, and this is flux. All right, good job. You know what? I need to use a different iron here, not this. This is the thermal mass on the smaller iron is not that big, so it's not gonna penetrate everything the way I want it to. So right here, like that, like that, like that. Okay. And same we're gonna do here. All right, so like that. And we're gonna do the same thing here. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing here. Okay. All right, so the leaded base solder supposedly supposed to mix with the unleaded base solder, and we should be able to lift up that chip without much of hitting anything. So the only thing is, how do I lift that chip? That's the question. All right, so here. The microscope is in the way, but I will do my best. So come on, the microscope is really in the way. All right, so it doesn't seem like it's working out. I need to boost up the temperature a bit. I wonder if I wouldn't put all this solder, would it come out easier or not? Maybe I made a mistake by putting so much solder onto the legs. Come on. Okay. All right, and we're off. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove all the excess solder from the area. All right. All right. So let me remove as much as possible. All right. Let's cut the. Oops. Where did you go? All right. So the goal is to clean those guys the best possible. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a bit more flux here and there, because it cleans a lot better with the flux on. I really hope for a breakthrough, right? I hope for a breakthrough. I hope people in China programmed everything correctly. Even though the component came in factory sealed, so I'm not sure how they can seal a factory component back after programming. That's my concern. Good job. Looks excellent to me. Okay. Now, because it's the first time I'm installing this particular component on this type of motherboard, I'm gonna be using just a soldering iron to install everything. I'm not gonna be using the hot air to install the components. So what I want to do is I want to remove all the insulation from the motherboard. All right. And okay. All right. So while the chip is removed, what I want to do is I want to see if we still have the same shortage here. And we don't have a shortage. And we don't have a shortage. Let me see if get a cleaner. Well, this should be. Come on. Come on. No, no. How about 0? Yeah, right there. Much close up look right there. So right there, you see, we tried to, this is the settings. We tried to measure the resistance. We don't have a shortage anymore. Right there. So that chip for sure was shorting, or something that this chip does was shorting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this particular chip right on top right there. And we're gonna solder it up. All right, let me go on the microscope and see if it's gonna work. All right, so we are on the microscope. You know what I wanna do is I wanna inspect nearby components if any of them flew off the motherboard while I was, you know what, hold on, what's that right there on the left side? Right here, what's that? Here, hold on. I need to make sure that and this seems like just some flux. All right, so that's good. And nothing else flew off the motherboard. This one moved slightly. Maybe it was soldered like that to begin with. But no, I mean, all of them, everything is intact. So let's position this chip. All right, so I need to be dead center if possible. Shoot. You should understand it's all microscopic, so does it look good to you? That looks good to me. Yeah, if I'm gonna touch anything more here, I might screw things up. So, the way how to get this thing done. You know what, if I just gonna use flux, it might push the chip off a little bit. So I'm gonna use flux on the side. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a tiny soldering iron. And I will try to solder a couple of, 1 second. I probably need to buy another $100 tip here because this tip is at the end of its life. All right. Let's see if it's still gonna do the job I want it to do. Ah, that's what I didn't want to do. All right, let's try to reposition it again. Oh, it could still be repositioned. All right, I was thinking it's already soldered up. All right, let's see the top. Top is fine. Okay, so let's try and Okay. Not exactly what I was hoping to do, but that's gonna probably do the trick. Okay. All right, let's do the up portion of it. Okay. All right, so it seems like I'm fixated it at certain points along the motherboard. So what I'm gonna do now is I can add some flux to the bottom row. And I know the chip not gonna move because I tried to do a good fixation job. Fixating job. Okay, so here. All right. All right. Alrighty. Alrighty. Now, you're probably gonna notice that I'm not touching the pins yet. I'm just touching the pads without touching the pins. The reason being, again, I don't want to move the chip yet. I wanna just fill in the All right, so I think we got plenty of flux here at this time, so and plenty of solder, so we can proceed to the rest of the board. Again, the goal for me was not to move the whole thing. Right, like that. Alrighty. So I'm still just touching the pads. I'm not touching the... I'm just adding the solder to the pads. I want the chip to stay flat as much as possible. And then I'm gonna be able to touch up every single pad. All right, I need more flux here. Did the up move? The up position moved. Okay, that's not exactly what I was hoping for, but looks okay to me for the first time. Let's do... Okay, so let's do flux here. Let's do flux on the other side. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It doesn't want to go as well as it was going here. Something isn't working well. All right. No, 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 no. No, no. All right, so you see that pin right there? It moved because I wasn't paying attention much. Uh-oh. Did it solder already? Yeah, it soldered already. Okay, this one didn't, this one soldered. You know what, let's try and fix it just slightly. Ah, the whole... Okay, good job. All right. Now I need to be extremely careful here, all right? Right, so what I want to do now... eh, Okay, looks like I did a good job on every single one. I need to get this stuff out of here. Just let's see if we can correct it right now. I put a bit too much, I guess. Let's see. Too much. That was too extreme. Not supposed to go like that. All right, so let's see. All right. Okay, almost. So what I did was I removed a huge chunk of solder. And here what I want to do is I just want to bring that solder towards the front. Bring this solder towards the front as well. And that solder. You know, I think I didn't do the right thing here. Should have gone slowly but surely, instead of trying to fixate it with the big blobs. I mean, I know I'm gonna fix it, no big deal, but still, it's a bit more time than I expected it to be. Yeah, no, I should have gone one by one, not like that. Alright. So the goal now is to, as usual, add more flux, because flux usually takes care of a lot of stuff. And no, this is really painful experience to watch. Okay, so here, at least one blob got disappeared here. All right, so let's try to do another blob here. Let's see if you can just bring a bigger iron. Maybe that's gonna be able to suck everything out faster. No, it didn't. Let's see. Okay, yes, it did. All right. So the solution is a bigger iron. All right, where are we at here? Right here, right? No? Yeah, right here. Okay, good job. Good job. Yeah, excellent. All right, so let's do one by one here without causing too many blobs. Right on this end here. All right, let's go. Now, I know some of you would say just do the drag method. Just drag over oh crap, I knew something like that gonna happen. Anyways, here. I'm afraid that this is going to be one large blob. Right, so ah, crap. No. One wrong move and everything just went haywire. Alright, so I just want to go for every single one. Make sure that okay, so we just got this guy. Right now, seriously, I need to do something about that. Let's see if we can get it. Good job. Alright, so I think it's much easier for me to use this side. Let's see if we can use a bigger iron to go through every single one of those. Yeah, much faster, much easier. Alright, so now I know. Just use a bigger iron. Alright. You see the reason I wanted to add more solder to each pad so that later I would be able to just do this with the bigger iron, just what I did. But if it has nothing on the pad, it's not gonna solder as well. I need to use flux too here. Anyway, probably not to bore you to death, I will just continue doing this for every single piece here. Make sure it's all nicely soldered. All right, let's go this way. Make sure that every single one is nicely soldered here. I still remember the guy who left me a negative review because the three screws were missing on the bottom of the casing, and his laptop had a really cheap plastic, and the nuts where you screw in the screws weren't even there. I mean, there's nothing to screw in the nuts into, and there's nothing to screw in the screw in because the nuts were missing. And he left me like a whole bunch of negative reviews, and that's the reason why my business went down so much. I mean, you can almost close the business and go home after somebody leaves you a review about 3 missing nuts. His name was Michael. You could read his review on my reviews page. I mean, anybody else for that kind of money would do this kind of work? In the United States, I doubt it. Amazon pays like $25 an hour next door to do whatever. Amazon, Uline, all those companies like 25, $26 an hour, and I'm doing this. And I don't even know if it's gonna work or not. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean it up. All right. All right, and all right. I know you would say you need to use flux off, but flux off smells so bad that I can't tolerate the smell of flux off, so I'm just using the ISP, and I'm trying to find the ISP is not that great at removing, but you have a benzene, gasoline, basically. It will be just as good at removing the flux as, even though this is a no clean flux, You still have to kind of clean it. I mean, you don't have to, you could leave it as is. I'm just cleaning it up because I need to see that everything is nicely soldered. All right. Where are we at here? All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test to make sure the, well, I still have to dry it, right? I still have to dry it. I have to check each pin to see if each pin is soldered the way it should be soldered. All right, beautiful. 3 missing screws, negative review right there. That's good. Okay. So what I want to do now is blow some one of the best investments ever is the air dryer for the motherboard, so to speak. Here, let's see. I'm just oh, did I scratch it? No, I didn't. Okay. What I'm doing now is I'm testing to see if okay, so this one is not soldered. You see? All right. All right, I just missed which one was it. Someplace here, I think, right? All right, there. Okay. Let's continue. All right, so someplace here. This one too, not soldered? Wow. So many not soldered. Let's continue. All right, let's try one more time. Oh, come on. Every single one. All right, let's see. Let's continue moving on. Let's see. All right, let's come back here. This one, right? I was so sure that I did such an excellent job. Something here, right? Someplace here. This one. All right, let's go one more time. Seriously. I was hoping I'm doing a much better job. Well, I'm not sure if this is the line where I did the... I think this is the line. Because every time I need to grab an iron, I'm losing focus from where it was. I think that was it. Someplace here. Strange, it was just one side. I'm not sure. Was it because I didn't put too much solder on the pads on that side? Or was it something else? Anyways, obviously I'm gonna clean everything here before. Strange, why did just one side didn't get soldered? That's the question. Everything else seems to be alright. Alright, so this was the side. This was the side right here. Strange. Why would... Maybe not enough flux? You know what, I'm not happy about this solder right there. Let's try and... Okay. Yeah, so everything was good except one side. Alright, looks good. Let's clean this guy up one more time. Alright, looks good. Let's clean the chip too. And those are basically the lettering on the chips. Alright, so let's wipe this guy with the Kimtech wipes. Those are chemical absorbent wipes. And those supposed to be lint free. Alright, so after the cleanup, it looks something like that. Let me zoom in right here. It's that right there. And just cotton. Okay. Should be lint free, but at the end, not that much lint free. Let's see this guy here. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's your lint free cloth. Alright. Why did it leave so much residue? Alright. Alright. Hold on one second. What's that here? You see how it doesn't have that? This is what I was trying to do. I was trying to add and this guy here. Yeah, so... Oh, but they're still fine. Okay, never mind. Good job. We don't want to mess anything up. Is that a space for a capacitor, or that capacitor was not supposed to be there? Oh yeah, so those guys not supposed to be there. All right, never mind. And those guys are not supposed to be there. All right, looks good to me. All right. Now let's see if with the new chip we're still gonna have a shortage here or not. So we check this point here, and we don't have a shortage with the new chip installed. All right, so that's good. It doesn't have zero. It doesn't. So what we can do now, we can replace this component here. In order to replace that component here, I need to insulate this hinge. like that, like that. All right, and we're good. All right, so I'm just gonna add some solder and remove this guy here. All right. Let me adjust the focus. All right, so reflections is what killing the. All right, so let's remove that chip from here. Oh, you're right. Good luck. Here, that chip goes here. Now let's add some hot air to the rear. Not too much, just a little tiny bit. Much above. Again, we're doing the same trick. We're adding the solder to the unleaded base solder. And what we need to do now is add some flux. Right, I added some flux. More solder. Doesn't want to bulge. All right. I guess we need to add some solder on the bottom. Yeah, the bottom needs to have some solder as well. It's really tight here because the nearby components are really close to the Okay, looks good. The camera in a way, or the looks good. Wonderful. It didn't go exactly as planned, but it's gonna be alright. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I wanna blow some hot air right there. Keep the board nice and toasty. Okay. Right, so if I can get one of the holes empty from solder, what I do is I usually just add a bit more solder. This is the ground one, so it's pretty hard to get anything out of there. So what I'm doing is added some solder, then I'm gonna suck it out of there. All right, still doesn't work. All right, so the next thing to do is to do something like that. Good job. And that way all of the holes are nice and empty. All right, and we just gonna collect the remaining solder from here. Okay. Yeah, those grounds, they are pretty much connected to the rest of the board, and you have to heat up the rest of the board for the solder to melt. So, all right, let me go get a brand new connector. All right, and we're gonna install it. All right, so what we can do is we can just install this connector into the place. That fast. Seems like something is stuck. One of the holes wasn't cleaned well enough. We're gonna clean it up. All right. Looks good. All right, so now it plugs in all the way. And we can solder it up. That way I can see better what I'm doing here. Let's do Okay. Good job. All right. All right, so let me clean it up and let's test and see if it's gonna work. Alrighty, so do we have a light at the end of the tunnel? Again, so replace that chip to remove the shortage here and put a new connector here. This is Lenovo power supply, OEM Lenovo power supply. What I wanna do is I wanna see if we're gonna be getting voltage to the battery. And by the way, first let's take a look if we're gonna be getting the light here. We get a light right there, which I'm not sure what does it do. All right, but we're not getting the light right there. Maybe because the battery is not connected. All right, so here. So we get 20 volts here. And we get some voltage here. Let's see, it should be much lower voltage here. Yeah. Now we get the voltage all over the motherboard. So there is no short on the motherboard anymore. The light does not come up here. It's not coming up probably because the battery is not connected. So that's my take on it. Not sure what this power button does. Switch number 5 right there. But here it lights up. Blinks. But the point is, I don't know if this thing gonna work or not. So now the power goes through. There is no shortage. My hope is that the people who sold me those chips, I'm not sure what NMC372 means. Maybe that's the programming for that chip. I truly hope that this is gonna work once the client puts it in their laptop. You can read the first comment below this video and see if this thing worked. I have one more chip left. I will try to use it on the next laptop that comes in for this kind of repair that also has this kind of a problem. So yeah, all right, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care and have a good day. Thanks, bye.